Good evening everyone and welcome to the League of Europe. This is the F2 Championship. It's Season 2, Round 3, and we are at the Japanese Grand Prix at the Suzuka International Circuit. Good evening everyone, I'm James Hay, going to be taking you through the stream here tonight as always, and you should be expecting me to continue commentating on a Monday night right through to the end of the season, which will be absolutely fantastic, and you guys will get first hand the best commentary, hopefully the best racing here tonight in Japan, a circuit where the overtaking is not really at a premium. The cars are going to have to be wrestled around the track here tonight. I know Gary was saying that in Discord earlier on. And we've got 18 drivers and a possibility of a full lobby. What is not to like about the F2 Championship? I mean, we started out, I think, with only 12 or 13 drivers, and my aim over the first 2 weeks was to get more drivers into Formula 2 and get them interested and get them trying something new, and that's exactly what has happened, which I have to say I'm really glad about, and Dan doing a fantastic job, and V5H Roll both doing a fantastic job, of course, organising the F2 Championship. But enough about them. I'm sure you guys want to hear what happened last time out in Belgium. And of course, it was a really great race, reverse grid, of course, for all races here in Formula 2. It was only qualifying for race 1. It was Toxic who took the win from Campbell in second. Verstappen finished in third in Belgium, with Gary in fourth, Dan in fifth, Callum in sixth, McCrew in seventh, Bray in eighth, Rajoy in ninth, and Palmer rounding out the top 10. We'll see how those guys get on tonight, and the drivers' standings is a really close run affair at this early stage of the season. Toxic and Verstappen both tied for the lead on 47 points, leading the way. So that's the Carlin and the Campos driver on 47 points. Campbell is in third on 41 points. He's just a little way behind. And Dan in fourth. Consistent 2 results so far, 15 and 13 respectively. He's picked up 28 points so far this season. McCrew is in fifth on 22. Bray is in sixth on 16, with Gary Donegan in seventh on 15. A really good debut from him last time out. Rajoy is in eighth on 13 points. Same with Tom, he is the reserve and he's on 13 points. Callum is in 10th on 11. We've also got Sir Ebo on 9, B. Morgan on 9, Jasper on 7, Palmer on 6, and Kieran on 5. And Jasper and another driver has had to pull out. I'm just going to remember the name of that other driver so I do get everything right on the stream. And hopefully the action, as I say, will be good tonight. And looking at the non-attendance, yeah, Cam and Jasper, both F2 drivers from recent seasons, both of them pulling out due to various circumstances, and of course we wish them well in their future endeavours. Constructor standings in the meantime. Campos lead the way on 88 points, with Carlin in second on 47, Dams in third on 37, with Trident in fourth on 31, Shrew is in fifth on 20, with Prima in sixth on 9, Uni Vitosi is in seventh on 9 points as well, and MP Motorsport is in eighth on 6 points. Arc Grand Prix and BWT Arden, well, they haven't scored any points yet, so don't come to me if you haven't scored any points. Hopefully we will see both those teams picking up points, maybe even here tonight. Of course, the top 15 do get the points here tonight in the Formula 2 Championship. And we come to a track, of course, which is fabled in F1 folklore, is the Japanese Grand Prix. A fantastic track. I'm just going to get my track map up for that. If you bear with me for 2 seconds, my internet is just playing up a little bit, which is fantastic. But I can tell you, the first Grand Prix was held here in 1987. You should be expecting full complement of 100% feature race here tonight, only the feature race. Hopefully we don't have a lobby restart either, and of course, the 18 corners await the drivers here out on track tonight. 1 DRS zone, that is down the start-finish straight. And the track was built by Saichiro Honda in 1962, where the first Grand Prix, and it's the only figure-of-8 track, I think, in the world that actually holds competitive racing with an FIA super license as well, which which is absolutely fantastic. And what is the circuit like? Well, we have got it's one of the ultimate driving challenges for the drivers here out on track tonight. Snaky nest curves, 2 committed Degners, and the hairpin and 130R, all the way at the drivers here out on track tonight. Now, if I do get any corner names wrong, don't come and lynch me. I will try my very best to try and give you the best possible action here out on track, as always. 19 drivers then in the lobby. We do have a couple of new drivers in, which I have noticed. Of course, the top 10 here, all very familiar names. Callum is in. Dylan from the IRO team. Dylan, of course, I've commented on before in FRL, so welcome to him here tonight. He is in the Carlin car replacing Bullet Boy, who is not here tonight. His one-bar connection, though, is a bit concerning, as is McCrew, so maybe if they're listening in, just ensure that your devices are turned off before we get going at 7 o'clock. Kieran is also in. Your JT. B. Morgan. Car Mentalist is here as well, of course, a Division 2 driver. And I've commented on him plenty of times as well. And he's also TTG's newest commentating signing as well. And you can see him commentating alongside me tomorrow night on TTL F2, and that is on TTTV, of course, if you guys want to tune in for that. And also we've got Damon in. Not sure who Damon is. I might have commented on before, I'm not sure. And QVR Kookie, a new signing for the QVR team. Kuki Games, of course, currently well up there in the Division 2 standings. The Slovenian former Division 1 driver, of course, here in League of Europe, and he has joined QVR, Clean Vigor Racing, and of course I wish him well in that move to QVR. Let's see what you guys are saying then in the comments section, and see how you guys are doing tonight here for action about to get underway in about 3 minutes time roughly. Good evening to Aiden, good evening to McCrew, good evening to Palmer as well. This is going to be a tough one. Good luck to everyone else racing tonight. Yeah, I think everyone has got to have the best possible chance here out on track, and hopefully, as I say, the action here out on track is going to be a good and well received action. We should have a cleaner turn 1 than what we did last time around. No guarantees though, with there being 20 drivers and 1 spectator. Yes, I'm your commentator for tonight. So all we've got to do then is wait until the until the lobby actually gets going. We should be ready, as I say, very soon indeed. And as I say, 1 DRS zone, 18 corners out on track. It's really going to be a test of nerve. It's really going to be a test of skill, this track here tonight. And I know Gary Donegan was on in Discord earlier on, saying how he has to wrestle the cars through the corner. That is exactly the case. I've done a couple of time trial laps before I came live here, and I managed to get my time up to about a 1:41.7 in terms of time trial time in the dry. But honestly, you have to work for it. It is not going to be it's not going to be essentially a butler coming in, handing you on a plate. It's definitely not going to be like that, and the drivers are going to have to work for it tonight. And I especially feel sorry for anybody that is going to have a wheel in front of them here tonight, because they're going to be working their hands off. So arm workouts, if you're any of the gym guys out there, you will be working out your arms here tonight for a full workout. And of course, 20 drivers await the 20 drivers await us here tonight, of course, in Formula 2 action. We're about a minute away from the start of the lobby and the start of the 100% feature race. Of course, formation lap is on. Safety car is also on as well. We have got dynamic weather, so there is an opportunity and a chance that it could be wet compound of tyres to begin off with. I'm not sure how it's going to pan out. We'll have to see how it all pans out as we get into the lobby. You might hear me waffling on for a little bit. I'm just trying to pass the time really until we get going for the lobby. And hopefully you guys, as I say, are doing very well here tonight. My connecting to online services is coming up quite a lot, which is quite concerning. But hopefully we're going to have some great action here out on track tonight. And as I say, it's going to be a test of nerve and a test of skill for each of the 20 drivers that we have got here tonight. And you might have heard actually of a bit of Formula 2 news that one of the Brazilian drivers from the FIA feeder series has now joined Campos Racing. Not sure if you guys caught that today. I will just confirm that for you. I'll type it in on my iPad and confirm who it was who actually joined. Guilherme Samaya joins, the Brazilian. Jack Aitken staying at Campos. It was announced earlier on today. So Guilherme Samaya is joining Campos Racing for the forthcoming Formula 2 season. Very good news, I think. Of course, I do want to give you guys the best possible news and the best opportunities here tonight. We should, as I say, get going very shortly indeed. I'm not sure what the hold-up is. I'll have a check on Discord then and see what the guys are saying before the race actually begins. Let's see what everyone is saying. McCrew saying he got disconnected, so he is unreadied. Yeah, we have lost McCrew out to the lobby. His connection was on a 1 bar, which might be a little bit concerning. Hopefully he can get up into the lobby screen once again. Hopefully he'll be able to get in. So that's just the hold up here. McCrew has disconnected from the session, but will be rejoining in the meantime. Dan has put out a very good warning, and I also put out a very good warning earlier on in the Discord as well. Don't forget, these cars' brakes aren't as good, so watch out for turn 1. If we have a repeat where we have a Belgian turn 1 once again, I can honestly say that half the field might be out of the race before we even get going. But I will not make that at all. We have got no spaces at all here tonight. There's only the one spectator, and as soon as McCrew gets in to go into his Prima car, we should be underway, and hopefully you guys will get to enjoy the action that will inevitably unfold out on track. McCrew hopefully going to be joining up in just a second. In the meantime, yeah, McCrew saying parents are on heavy Wi-Fi tonight. Tell them to watch the stream instead on one of their devices instead of trying to disown the Wi-Fi a little bit. Just tell them to watch the stream and hear my dulcet northeast voice tones. B Morgan saying good evening as well. Hopefully, as I say, you guys are keeping well. And I'm not sure what you guys think of the Racing Point livery. I think it's exactly the same as 2019's livery. I think I think honestly they've literally went into Photoshop, changed a couple of the sponsors around, changed a couple of the colours, and that's about it. That's about it. It's a Racing Point at the end of the day. It's a Pink Panther. It's still pink. It's still white. It's still got BWT as their main sponsor. Nothing's changed there for the Racing Point, I think, here. But the Williams, yeah, the Williams livery here released earlier on. I think, honestly, I can recognise it as a bit of a best of British livery, because obviously Williams is a really great British brand and a real great British team back in the day, especially in the 90s, of course, where Nigel Mansell took the win, his championship win in the Williams, and in the 80s as well. We are the feature race lobby, but I think the Williams is the best livery, I think, so far. And I know I said that on Saturday about the AlphaTauris, but honestly, the Williams livery is something to behold. Honestly, if you go to a Formula 1 race and you see that livery, you're just going to be like, wow, they've pulled it off fantastic. And honestly, as I say, because I'm a stone Brit supporter, I'm best of British and all of that, I think it looks exactly like that. And I think it is a sign of the times where Williams want to try and get back into the past and try and really use that to their great effect. Obviously, we'll get talking about that more later on, but we do have a full complement of drivers here for the Formula 2 Championship here in Japan, and what a night we have in prospect. Full grid, 20 drivers, hopefully everyone going to be clean into turn 1. Of course, I air that certain caution on turn 1 because it is going to be a terrible corner if everything goes wrong. And as I remind you, we have got a tie for the lead coming into tonight. 30 laps await the drivers then. McCrew has joined back in. He'll be starting in 16th position, and we are now underway for tonight. And Kooky Games is setting us off. The Slovenian, of course, joining QVR as recent as the weekend. Both compounder size are available, softs and mediums. As I say, Toxic leading the way on 47 points. Verstappen is in second on 47 points, and Campbell is in third on 41 points. The top three, coming into tonight, joined by 6 points. And Damon clearly in a bit of a rush there to try and get past Kooky, unless Kooky has gone into a bit of AI mode. I think Kooky is actually desynced at the session here. Kooky, I think, might have desynced. Everyone has just got to be erring on that air of caution. I'm not sure if we have got a bit of a desync issue there. I'm not sure, I honestly don't know. I'm not sure if people are just being quite ignorant on the formation lap and try and push their way through. But looking at it, I think if we can go on board with your JT, it'll give us a real insight. Yeah, Kooky Games has actually desynced on my end out of the session. So Kooky Games not running around in his car out on track. Certainly on my end anyways, that is the case. And he's also in the other Prima, which might lead me to believe that we could have a restart here. Kooky Games obviously starting on top, and drivers are just going through him. His car is still going around out on track, as you can quite clearly see. Kieran and Palmer running behind here. And both of them, Kooky Games' car has just been spun out completely through the corner. Goodness me. I'm not sure how quite to describe this, but 2 compender tyres available for the drivers here tonight. Softs and mediums. Softs obviously going to be lasting quite a long into the race. I would say around lap 12, lap 13 maybe, and then for the mediums probably towards around lap 18. Hopefully everyone's going to be erring on the side of caution. Packer coming in and saying let's go IRO. Hopefully Dylan and Damon do well, and hopefully they do well. Obviously I'm not going to bear any affiliation to any to any esports team. I know I've got Toxic in here as part of TTG. Not going to bear any bias towards anyone, and it's going to be fair commentary from me here tonight. So then, we are joining on to the grid. Kooky Games' car has been desynced from the session, so Damon then is going to start us off on pole position. We might have to wait here for Kooky Games' car to come through the field. I think actually his car has now completely gone off. A bit of a weird, honest glitch there from the game, so thank you very much for that. But here we go. The 5 red lights then are about to go out very shortly indeed. Kooky Games' car has desynced from the session. That is up at the final corner, in fact. 5 red lights about to go out here in Japan. And it's lights out and away we go. It's a great start then from Damon. Wakurs gets a very good start as well. Dylan not too bad off the line with V5 roll already up the inside of your JT. Down into turn 1. Hopefully going to be all clean in the background. Your JT trying to go up the inside. Palmer up the inside of his teammate as well. Mentalist has made up good ground. And it looks like everyone is pretty much clean through. Kooky Games has actually got that car going. And a very weird glitch from there. Palmer is round in the background though. And Damon and Wakurs lead through the S section for the first time. Dylan in third, V5 in fourth, plenty of gains up. Callum has been caught up in a little bit of contact further down the field. It looks like he might have been caught up in the Palmer incident. V5 Commentalist trying to look to the inside. He's best of the medium runners at this stage, and now into the deck as they go. Dylan up the inside of Wakurs trying to get the move done. The Carlin driver, of course, replacing Bullet Boy here tonight. Bullet Boy, of course, will be back next week, but Damon leads the way from Dylan. IRO 1-2, but Wakurs has none of it down the inside in the Arc Grand Prix, and he's back into that second position. So Damon leads, Wakurs second. Dylan just being completely dive bombed there down the inside at the hairpin. V5 in fourth, Commentalist fifth, your JT in sixth. How are the main championship protagonists doing? Verstappen is down in 15th, Toxic is down in 10th, and Campbell is down in 9th, but they have gained positions off the start, and that's really all that matters from the start of the race. Kooky Games, of course, having that desync, has got the car going. He is not desynced any longer. I don't know what the problem was, but he's behind Dan. He's in 17th position, as now we see Dylan trying to look down the inside of 130R, going to be bold and brave. Wakurs has to go wide, and he's got the inside line. Wakurs joins in a fair manner there. Dylan trying to look down the inside then. Wakurs right in the background. V5 getting slowed up. Damon now leads, and pretty much nearly 4 wide. 3 wide certainly. Commentalist then coming across the line, and he might have 3 wide down the straight. We've got Commentalist. V5 Wakurs dropping down. Kooky Games is in this as well. No, Kooky Games is not in this as well. It's Dylan that's in this. And Commentalist up to third. Double move there, pulled off by the BWT Arden driver. And it looks like there's been a crash, and we've got a VSC. So VSC has been deployed, and it's because of Bray. Bray has lost his front wing, and Sir Ibo has also been called up in a bit of contact. They might have had a bit of contact on the straight. But a VSC brings a literal neutralisation to this race at the end of lap 1. It's Damon who leads, Dylan in second, Commentalist third, V-Power Retro in fourth. So, 3 of the guys that I used to commentate on, right there up in the vanguard, in the top 3. But obviously a lot to happen still, and we're back underway here from the VSC. We're cursed right on the back of V5 Retrol. B Morgan dips a wheel into the gravel there at the dams. Everyone got to be careful, of course. They've got to respect each other out on track. Cookie Games and McCrew having a bit of a battle. Verstappen losing out of position to Callum. Here's B Morgan then down the inside on Kieran, who runs it right wide, and B Morgan says thank you very much for that one, and he gets through. Campbell! Oh, Campbell's been caught up in contact. Kieran and Campbell caught up in a bit of contact. Not sure what happened there. Campbell avoids Kieran's car, who was not ghosted. Not ghosted, I repeat. Damon then, there's a lot happening out on track. It is a full grid. Of course, the driving standards look like they have taken a bit of a dive here tonight compared to Belgium. But Damon leads, Dylan second, Commentalist in third, McCurse fourth, with Viva Retrol right on the back of McCurse. He's down the inside into 130R. Can he pull off the move? He pulls very late off, trying to get the move done. Toxic then has ran the outside of B Morgan. That was completed, I'm afraid, off track, but he's got the move done. And Toxic is up into 7th position. He's now down to 8th because B Morgan fights the car and is back up into 7th position. Cookie Games' decent car is still going round out on track. Gary Donegan then is right on the back of these two as well. But Viva Retro going side by side in the foreground with Kursk. Toxic trying to go around the outside. B Morgan off the camber of the corner. Just locks up near the interim. We're on that 3. DRS now enabled. Damon leads. Dylan second. Commentalist third. McCursk fourth. V5 Retrol in fifth. Your JT in sixth. B Morgan seventh. Toxic eighth. Gary Donegan in ninth. And Rajoy filling out the top 10. Let's see how the positions have changed then. And plenty of positions have been gained. Toxic 11 positions gained is the most gained at this stage. He hasn't got any front wing damage, which is good to see off the early stages. And also most positions gained as well. Verstappen up 7. Dan up 6 as well. We've also got many position and many positives there on the position change chart. In the meantime though, Toxic on the back of B Morgan, looking to the inside of the hairpin, not going to pull off the move though. The Division 2 driver against the Division 1 driver here. B Morgan, the Dams, against Toxic, who of course is that Division 1 driver in the calling car. And Toxic right on the back of B Morgan. Of course, with it being different divisions in Formula 2, it really adds to the racing here, I think. You couldn't necessarily see a Division 4 driver win a race out of a Division 1 driver. That's what F2 is about. Unpredictability, and hopefully we're going to be seeing a lot of overtaking here tonight. Toxic then is on the back. Your JT, the Scotsman, under pressure. B Morgan. Toxic is going to be boxed in. He's going to try and force his way through around the outside on B Morgan. I'll tell you what though, he's pulled it off. Toxic pulls it off around the outside. He's now to the inside on Your JT. Can he get the move done? He just about makes contact with him, but the calling car is through. Toxic 2 for the price of 1 there. Toxic is 3 to 6. Oh, and as soon as I say that, he gets caught on the curve, and he's been caught up in a bit of contact. I think B Morgan is round as well. Yeah, B Morgan and Toxic have been caught up in a bit of contact. V5 Retrol in the meantime is down the inside and Kursk trying to get the move done, and he has. Kursk pulling off track there, but V5 Retrol is up into 4th position. Well, up into 3rd position. Yeah, 4th position, I'm right. Kursk in 5th, Your JT in 6th. After that contact, Toxic down to 8th, B Morgan down to 14th. Not sure what happened there. Looked like both of them actually got caught on the curb, and I've also missed a overtake for the lead as Dylan has now overtaken Damon. Commentalist then on the back as well. Of course, no harsh blood hopefully between these 3. Dylan, Damon and Commentalist, 3 drivers that I've commentated on in the past. The BWT Arden car on the back of the Alt Grand Prix, and the other calling car for Dylan. Of course, he is replacing Bullet Boy in that car here tonight. Dylan leads, Damon second, Commentalist in third, Viva Retrol in fourth, Kursk in fifth, Your JT in sixth. Gary is up to 7th as a result of Toxic spin. He's down in 8th, Rajan in 9th, Dan in 10th. We'll try and cut on board, of course, with as much action as possible during the course of the night, and we'll go on board then with the Irishman, Gary Donegan, who is on the back. The Trident car against the Campos there. No, not the Campos. Let's just get that car right. MP Motorsport, Toxic on the back in the car line as well. Could be going side by side here towards 130R. This is difficult at the best of times in F1 cars. Never mind an F2. Toxic trying to go around the outside. Let's Gary Donegan though on the inside of him, and fair play to Toxic. Doesn't want to go for a move that isn't really his. Gary Donegan then up to 8th. Cookie Games then has just came across into the final sector. Callum in the meantime on the back of Dan, this is, for 10th position. Do apologise, of course, about the desyncing that is happening. Comments, this is through then on Damon, he's up to 2nd. As Dan is under pressure now from the other BWT Arden. The BWT Arden of Callum to the inside now. He had a really good debut last time out in Belgium, and he's got the move done easily down the inside. Dan realised the pressure, and he's got more pressure on him because here comes Verstappen on the back as well. All beginning to hot up here. We are about 1/6 of the way through the race. It's lap 5 out of 30, and if you're just tuning in, Palmer has retired from the session there. So Palmer out of the race. His first DNF here in Formula 2 in his second race. Callum in 10th, Dan in 11th, and Verstappen in 12th. There's Toxic. Oh, Dan actually having a poor run through the Dunlop curves there, and now Dan has retreated back to 12th. That was him going wide on the corner, and Verstappen then up into 11th position. Another position gain as Damon and Viva Vetrol gets the move done. Viva Vetrol down the inside. Clearly Damon got a poor run out of the hairpin, and now in towards Spoon Curve they go, and Damon then is down to 4th position. Viva Vetrol making his way through the field. It's Dylan who leads, the Dutchman from Commensulus, the Brit in 2nd. Viva Vetrol in 3rd. Damon in 4th, the Dutchman, and McCursk in 5th. Toxic 6th. Gary Donegan 7th. Your JT in 8th. However, Verstappen is on the back of Callum further down the field. This is for 10th and 11th position, and this is already looking like job done, to be honest. The Campos driver to the inside. I don't think Callum will fight this one. Verstappen not ahead going into 130R though. He's going to try and lunge it down the inside. Good position of the car there from Callum, and he pulls it up around the outside and he holds the position. So Callum holds 10th for this and goes a little bit deep into the corner. Verstappen trying to get the run out of the corner. The bump really catching the drivers out. You have to throw the car into the corners quite literally. Callum is adjacent to the pit wall here. Not going to give up the inside line lightly. Verstappen then round the outside with the DRS open. Should be job done. Callum will just slot him behind here, I think. Verstappen is round the outside. And the Spain winner in Division 1 is up into 10th position. And Verstappen maybe beginning to come on the bit of the warpath, because your JT is about 4 seconds up the road as well. Damon has dropped time to V5 Etrol in the meantime as well. McCrew beginning to get into this as well. He's on the same medium compound of tyres. And just to point out, of course, they do have to make that mandatory pit stop during the race. None of these tyres will be able to make 30 laps anyways, so that's why the drivers will have to pit in. McCrew then is 7 tenths off Dan at this stage, and McCrew right on the back of Dan. Currently, the Dutchman is under pressure from his fellow countrymen as McCursk has gone through on Damon. That is in the exit of the hairpin, I do believe. Yes, it is, and McCursk has got through for 4th position. Just having a look there on the mini-map on the right-hand side. If you are following the action on the mini-map, then I salute you, because I'm trying to follow the action that is happening actually out on track. And Callum with a very poor run out. Here comes Dan then, trying to go around the outside of Spoon. Oh, McCrew has to take avoiding action. Dan very slow into the corner. Callum taking avoiding action as well there, but Callum holds on for 11th. Dan in 12th. McCrew, good reaction timings. He has lost the position though to B. Morgan. He can continue on with his race. Just a little bit of a miscommunication there, I think, between the Dams and the Prima of Dan and McCrew. Dan though on the back of Callum still. We'll cut to that battle for 5th between McCursk and Damon. The two Arcon Free cars going side by side down the straight, and Damon's got the move done on McCursk. So Damon is up to 4th position now out on track. McCursk up to 5th. Dan then is into the pits as a result of the contact, but I think he's coming into the pits just because the tyres are beginning to go off on the cars. And look at Toxic on the back of these three as well. On the back of this group of 3, I should say. Dylan leads, comments for the 2nd, V5 Etrol and 3rd. Damon now beginning to drop down through the field. He is now under pressure from McCursk. McCursk in the meantime is under pressure from Toxic, and the TTG man right on the back here of McCursk. The Division 1 driver against the Division 3 driver here. Damon right on the front of this as well. Much better run out by Toxic. He's to the inside now. He's going to be outside into the hairpin. He gets caught on the curb. If he can pull this off, then it'll be absolutely fantastic. Round the outside he goes. He'll have the traction on the outside of the hairpin. Toxic has got the move done. Wakursk just got caught on the curb, I think, on the inside. Just forced a little bit of a banging wheel moment between them both. But Toxic then is through, and he's up into 5th position. Another good move shown by Toxic as Damon has gone very wide into Spoon. Of course, Don't take the Formula 1 braking points, take the Formula 2 braking points, and the drivers out on track will be good in for this as Verstappen is down the inside on your JT, the Scotsman, and the Dutchman finding this out now for 9th and 10th position. Not the scrap points, the top 15 of course do get points, and Campbell is in 15th place currently. Verstappen on the inside of your JT, not going to get the move done. We'll cut back to the three-way battle between Wurkhurst, Damon with a pool one out. Toxic says thank you very much for that one, and he's through on Damon. And of course, the F1 Prix driver now under pressure from his teammate, because here comes Wurkhurst. You can see the straight line speed from the other F1 Prix man. He's going to be down the inside. Might be right side end plate damage actually on that car. It's not. That's just my eyesight. Wurkhurst then has got the move done on Damon. Verstappen into the pits, Callum into the pits. Wise moves if they do want to come out in comfortable air. The crew, I think, is just coming around. Cooker Games, by the way, it's just coming around the final couple of corners. That car still looks like it is desynced out on track. He's now up to 12th position though as a result. On my screen anyways, it might be different to everyone else's. But Damon on the back of Wurkhurst gives the closest battle out on track. Dylan comments as V5 currently your top 3. Toxic now 4th, with Wurkhurst now in 5th. Damon in 6th, Gary Donegan in 7th. And now Toxic in that clear out beginning to set. Very good sector times indeed. Let's have an early run through then and see how many penalties drivers have picked up. We'll do the top 10 for now. Dylan has picked up nothing. Commensalist has picked up nothing. V5 has picked up nothing. Toxic has picked up a penalty. Wurkhurst has as well. So has Damon. Gary Donegan hasn't. He's picked up nothing. Rajayan has picked up a penalty. Your JT is going wide there, actually, was one of the drivers. Your JT picking up nothing, and B Morgan picking up nothing either. I think that was Wurkhurst going wide. Sorry, it was Damon going wide at Spoon Curve. And again, just going wide through there, really costing the run, and the trotting car of Gary beginning to catch up. The Irishman on the back here of the Dutchman. And again, a very difficult track this to really home in at, and they're going to be wrestling the cars quite literally around the corners. You can see Wurkhurst just completely flagging that corner and making sure that corner isn't really there. Wurkhurst, I think, might get some sort of penalty for track extending there. Cooker Games then just going through Spoon Curve there, but it's Dylan leading the way from Commensalist in 2nd. Wurkhurst in 3rd. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3, which has gone. It's one of the oh, and it's Rajayan actually. Rajayan has spun on the curb, I think, coming out of, on the bump I should say, running down the straight. And Rajayan now into the pits. So the other driver in the Sauber Junior team by Sharu, they're right at the top of the pit lane. Rajayan now is into the pits. It's all gone a bit quiet now. Commensalist on the back of Dylan, 9/10 of a second, the Brit against the Dutchman. And of course you can actually see the mediums beginning to start to come into play now. Dylan on a set of soft compound of tyres, Commensalist on a set of mediums. You will really be favouring the medium compound of tyres at this stage in the race, because the Brit beginning to catch the Dutchman. 1.1 seconds now the gap. Commensalist, I think, just probably wary that Dylan is in front of him and is on a 1-bar connection as well. But Commensalist now through Spoon once again. It's 1.2 seconds of the gap. We are pretty much a third of the way through then here in Formula 2, in League of Europe's Formula 2 Championship. I would say the home of Formula 2 racing on a Monday night as well. Full lobby here tonight. Palmer and Kieran both out of the race early on. Cooker Games then has been overtaken by Damon. Commensalist then running back of Dylan. And is the leader going to come into the pits? He is. So the calling car into the pits. Dylan into the pits. Brakes nicely before the final corner there. Wurkhurst coming into the pits. Gary Donegan also in. Your JT should follow in, I think. B Morgan should follow in. So my prediction of having 12 laps on a set of softs, well, if you're listening to me, then don't. I think that's what we can find there. That's why I'm in the commentary box and not there out on track, because I'd probably be out of the race by now. Toxic running back then on V5 And these two really begin to battle it out. Oh, Toxic with a bit of oversteer. V5 nearly ending up on one wheel onto the grass there. Commensalist who leads, and you've got a clear track ahead of him. You can see him actually just coming through the first sector split there now. Toxic now coming down into turn 1. Right on the back of V5 who locks up. Toxic then down the inside. The calling car has a bit of a half commitment. They make a little bit of contact, but Toxic was never going to get that move done. Not in a million years that was going to happen. And V5 maintains the position, and this is for 5th currently. And Dylan is about 4 seconds ahead of these guys out on track for the net lead of the race. Commensal is still in front, B Morgan second, McCrew in third. The medium compound of tyres for these guys will probably run, as we've got Campbell on the back of your JT further down the field. The Brit, again, the two Scotsmen in fact find it out here, Campbell and your JT. And this is, of course, the MP Motorsport against the Campos car. And the Campos really looking a bit quicker here. Can Campbell now try and get that overtake done? Toxic is through on V5 Echerol. That was down into the hairpin where he's got that done. So Toxic is through on V5 Echerol around the hairpin and has got that move done. And he's up position. Palmer just coming in and saying regarding his retirement, well, that didn't go well. I thought I might as well retire before I get into the way of everyone's battles. But it is the fair play. Oh, and there's a car off, and that is Damon who is out of the race. So Damon is out of the race, and we have got a virtual safety car out on track. There was the car just on the exit of the hairpin there. Not sure what happened to Damon. If somebody can explain that, they'll be much appreciated, because I didn't catch one bit of that on the stream at all. In the meantime, B Morgan will have that free pit stop because he's into the pits. He's on a set of soft compound of tyres. He's managed to go pretty much 11 laps on those. Toxic and V5 Echerol are running down the straight. So again, brings a neutralisation period to this race. It is Carl Mensless then who leads the way, and it's 27 seconds the gap. He's got 32 seconds over Dylan. And I'll tell you what, that could be a gap that could see him win the race. Mensless will begin to pull out that gap. Dylan has caught McCrew actually. Oh, and Dylan is off! Dylan is off, and that is through the S section. Wow, almighty! Where has he lost that? He's going to rejoin track. Hopefully he rejoins track in a safe manner with Kurtz going through shot there. Gary Donegan then is through as well. Dylan will rejoin track in a safe manner. Verstappen is coming through that section. Verstappen is through on Dylan. And all is going wrong for the IRO guys, I should say. Dylan now crashing out from the S section. He was in the net lead of the race as well, and that could mean his teammate Toxic will now lead the race as a result of that, possibly. We've got B Morgan just going through your JT, clearly cutting the corner there through the second Degner. But B Morgan has got the move done there on Dylan, and Dylan will just have to bide his time. Campbell looking to the inside, and Dylan just, I think, fairly getting out of the way of these guys, because obviously Campbell is on a set of soft compound tyre and he's trying to catch your JT. Dylan not going to play a ball at all, and the left side end play, as you can see on that Carling car, is off. And it's unfortunate for Dylan to crash out of that point. Of course, top 15 do get points if he even rejoins. If he rejoins back out on track, he will be picking up points out on track, and it's likely he might be able to go to the end of the race as well on a set of medium compound of tyres. We'll see how those guys get on the course on a set of mediums currently. Campbell then in the meantime, the Scotsman right on the back of the other Scotsman, your JT, and Campbell not really having the greatest race so far. He's obviously been caught up in a bit of early contact. Your JT now in that MP Motorsport is under pressure, and Campbell in fact is into the pits. He says enough is enough. Soft compound of tyres not going to last any longer, and Campbell then is into the pits. He's into the pits in the Campos car. Of course, only a 6-man crew here, and it's just a pure tyre change. But around a 5-6 second pit stop there from Campbell. He's on to a medium compound of tyres. He'll try and see those go to the end of the race. Carl Menschels then is out on his lonesome out in front. He must be enjoying this, to be honest, out in front. Of course, CTG's newest commentator to the fray. Carl Menschels leading the way from McCrew in second. Toxic then in third. He is now split apart. V5 Echerol and behind. He's now 1.7 seconds off, and Toxic currently looking like he's got all the answers. And it looks like when Carl Menschels comes into the pits, when that will be is another thing, as he's now coming around the final couple of corners. Carl Menschels, is he going to come into the pits? No, he's going to continue out there for another lap. So we should see, as I say, the mediums get towards the halfway stage. It's lap 13 out of 30 here in Japan. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the action out on track. We're just about reaching halfway through, and it is 7:30 as well. So if you're just tuning in, welcome to League of Europe's Formula 2 Championship. Of course, if you are new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe, and tick that notification bell while you're at it to see the latest content that the leagues produce here in League of Europe, because of course we are a community based league run purely for the passion and the excitement of Formula 1 racing, in this case Formula 2 racing, out on track. And with a full grid and only 3 DNS, I've got to really credit the drivers out on track. So Ibba was still going around there, right at the back of the field. Dillon has rejoined in front of him, and he's now beginning to attack the back of Bray, and we'll see that now, as the Carling man is on the back of the Trident. My voice is beginning to go, which is not great. Dillon then on the back of Bray. This is for the final scrap point that the drivers are going to be picking up out on track. And of course, Bray, the Maltese man, is now under pressure from Dillon. And Dillon looking to try and get back into the race at any cost, I think. He has been quite disappointing so far. Of course, that contact earlier on, he was driving a really good race. He was in the net lead of the race, as I say, until he made that contact. He has been driving a very good race. He's now on the back of Bray, who has been out of the set medium competitive tyres now for 10 laps. Dillon then will be looking to try and get past sooner rather than later. That DRS is now open down the straight. Of course, these cars only can carry 6 gears. Dillon not going to be getting the move done into turns 1 or 2. Bray just locking up there slightly. Focus on this battle for now. I know Campbell is beginning to get going in front of these two as well. He's 6/10 off Rajayan, and we'll cut to that battle now actually, because that's more on track. And Campbell then looking to try and get the move done here on Rajayan. The German under pressure now from the Scotsman, the KVR team. Dillon has got through on Bray eventually, and that was through the Dunlop curve. So Dillon is through, and he's up into 15th position. Campbell then on the back of Rajayan, and in the meantime, further down the field this is. Of course, battles will probably pick up towards the end of the race as well. Campbell on the back of Rajayan, looking towards the inside then, not going to get the move done. We are on lap 14. About to start lap 15, because Commensalist is coming towards that final corner now. He's 25.5 seconds, and in fact, I think, Commensalist is actually coming through the middle sector. That's the other BWT Arden coming across the line of Callum, who is driving well in 11th position. Yeah, he's just came across the line there. Campbell in the meantime, right on the back of Rajayan, switches to the inside. Rajayan will have to give him the space to try and complete the move. Campbell then, both going side by side through here. Oh, a little bit of contact, but Rajayan just about positioning that car in the right way, and Rajayan holds on to the position, but for how long? Because he's now under pressure from Campbell. Of course, Rajayan in that Sauber Junior team car, and Campbell is just going to sail on by. Down the inside he goes, down into turn 1. Can he get the car stopped? He can, and Campbell is through on Rajayan. So that Sauber Junior team car has now retreated back to 14th, with Campbell getting the move done clearly. B. Morgan and Verstappen picking up a really good battle on here between the Campos and the Dams car, and I think Verstappen actually might have just got that move done before we cut to it. B. Morgan will run on the back though in the meantime. We'll see if he can try and catch up. Toxic catching McCrew as well. Those guys are just coming into the final corner now. Commensalist is going through into the S section, so they're pretty much on the other side of the track. Commensalist nearly a sector clear out on track, just to bear that in mind. We'll cut then to that battle with McCrew and Toxic. This is a battle for second now, out on track. And Toxic looking around the outside, and the Carling car is going to get the move done. Just about cuts across in him, inches apart, but gets the move done cleanly. And I think McCrew just have to give up that position, to be honest. Morgan in the meantime on the back of Verstappen. Verstappen actually into the pits. So Verstappen into the pits. Whether that was a scheduled pit stop, I'm not sure if he got caught on the bump and may have just decided to come into the pits. But Verstappen then is into the pits, and he has got 5 seconds stop go by the looks actually out on track. He has. So Verstappen into the pits, picking up a 5-second stop go penalty. We'll just confirm that for you to make sure. He is dropping down the field as I click on, and he must have, as McCrew has left the session. So McCrew has left the session. That was a yellow flag in sector 2. And it's not Commensalist. So Ibble getting out of the way, I think, there. So Ibble might have just lost it around the hairpin, but Commensalist leads the way in the meantime. Interesting battles happening up and down the field. Of course, if you guys are enjoying the action, as Kuka Games has literally just got out of the way there. Might have broke himself the Prima car. Down in towards turn 1. McCrew is joining back, which I'm very relieved to say. The BWT Arden of Callum right on the back of Dan, and this is for 9th and 10th, currently out on track. As I say, Kuka Games has got that decent car, I do believe, on my screen anyways, the gap is pretty much staying as it is. But Callum, right in the meantime, on the back of Dan. V5 Vitrol catching the back of McCrew's AI car. And is going to get that move done. So McCrew will rejoin hopefully soon. Callum on the back of Dan, not going to get the move done. McCrew's actually into the pit. So McCrew, 14 laps, he will take control of his car, I think, in the pit lane, which is better, I think, for him, rather than anything else, as Callum is on the back of Dan. But it is Kooky Games who leads, 2.3 seconds the gap from Commentalist who leads. It's 24.4 seconds the gap to Toxic, and Toxic will undercut Commentalist, but Commentalist, of course, trying to go a long stint. And by long stint, I mean he's trying to go as long as possible to get onto a set of soft compound tyres. And looking by the way the softs actually degraded, he will be looking to try and get maybe 20-21 laps at a push, I think, to get on a fresh set of soft compound tyres. Palmer has left the session. We do thank him, though, for attending here tonight. Kooky Games leading the way, though, from Commentalist, leading the way from Toxic. These decent cars are causing me a bit of a headache, but Commentalist still leads. Dylan picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Let's have a look then at what is going on in the comment section as well. And good evening to the Welshman, either Bryn Mike, who has tuned in to the session. Hopefully you are enjoying it. Hopefully everyone is enjoying it as well. Callum right on the back of Dan as he tune in. Dan's car against the PWTR, and I'm pleased to say McCrew has joined, and he has joined out in a bit of free air actually. Dan 3 seconds ahead. You'll probably just see him actually. Oh, and he's left the session again, which is typical. So McCrew has left the session once again. Kooky Games picks up a 3-second time penalty. He is losing that time to Campbell. But Dan and Callum, 10th and 11th at this stage. McCrew has rejoined back. Has he taken control of his car? No, he hasn't. So I'm not sure what is going on here, but McCrew's car is still going around out on track. He has been recently into the pits as well. Dan, in the meantime, under pressure from Callum. And as I say, this is really the only battle that's got going out on track. The Irishman on Wakursk trying to close in. Gary Donegan there in 6th on the back of Wakursk. Commentalist then is just coming through the hairpin now. Toxic is coming through the first sector split, and you can see the gap he has got represented on the right hand side. It's 22.5 seconds between Commentalist and Toxic. McCrew has rejoined the session, which is good to see. I just see him weaving there down the straight, probably to say hello there and try and get a bit of airtime. Callum on the back of Dan, not going to get the move done. But McCrew, good to see him back in, and he is in 9th position. He's just ahead of these guys still. That is what we like to see, and hopefully he can now put those medium compound of tyres to good use, because he's been onto a set of medium compound of tyres from another set of mediums, so he might have to change back in, and he might have to come into the pits again. In the meantime, our Giant has got past Kooky Games. Kooky Games not putting up the fight, the Slovenian, and the German getting the move done. You can actually see through the corners that Kooky Games' car is there, and is running quite strongly in 13th still. But, to me anyways, I think it's still decent. But Callum on the back of Dan still. And McCrew beginning to be edged a little bit closer. It's now 9/10 of a second between McCrew and Dan. It's about 1.5 seconds between the battle for 8th and between 8th and 10th currently out on track. Oh, as I say, hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream, and of course we do have more action coming for you on Saturday night for League of Europe, where Division 1, 2, 3 and 4 will be racing. Division 1 and Division 3 of course racing at 6:40. You'll be able to join me for that one as I take you through France for Division 1, and Division 2 and Division 4 will be on at 8 PM UK time. Look at Callum, pretty much giving him a love tap there through the final corner, and now Dan under pressure for the first time. He might be under pressure for the last time as well, because Callum looking quick down the straight, the BWTR trying to get closer to Dan. He's not going to pull off the move though. If he literally got alongside him there would have been a bit of contact, so Callum respecting that Dan was always going to have the car in front, and Dan then still in 10th position. Callum in 11th currently. Gary Donegan though in the meantime catching Wakursk, and this is a battle for 4th and 5th currently out on track. And if you actually mention with car mentalist still yet to pit in, it could be actually a battle for third between these two out on track. As you can clearly see the actually a bit of a wingtip vortices coming off there on the right, on the rear wing of the cars, just coming down the hill. Of course, it's where the cold air of the track meets the warm air of the cars. The warm air of the cars are really going around out on track. And you just see at moments in this race where we have seen it, the wingtip vortices, it's pretty much like what airplanes get when you see it on the wingtips. If you've ever been on a plane before, you'll know what I mean. Gary on the back of Bukurskum in the meantime, for 4th and 5th, and again Gary looking right on the back here with Kursk, a little bit dodgy there, coming down the bump, and now Gary right on the back of him, the Trident, sizing this one up, and I don't think Kursk is going to put up any sort of fight here. He's going to try and cut across on him, a little bit of banging wheels, slightly. Kursk might be just feeling that he could have defended that position, but I don't think he was. The Irishman is through. Gary Donegan up into 5th position from Kursk now down in 6th. Well, 4th and 5th. Do you know what I mean? You'll get what I mean, because that's Cookie Gibbs' car. It's causing absolute havoc out on track with the desyncs. Callum on the back of Dan for 10th and 11th. We're about to go on to lap 20, I do believe. Comments list is just coming round Spoon now. Toxic coming around the hairpin. It's 21.4 seconds. So there's Dan going off track there through turn 2. I think he might have outbroken and knocked up into turn 1. And now Dan has lost that position to Callum. Callum now up to 10th. Well, up to 9th actually out on track. There you go, up to 9th. Dan down to 10th. Toxic there. Let's see how he's doing. He's coming through Spoon now. Commentalist is just coming through the final corner. And he's still not coming into the pits, Commentalist. On to lap 20 we go then. We're 2/3 of the way through here in Liga Europe's Formula 2 Championship. I would say the home of Formula 2 here on a Monday night. And Commentalist leads by 20.9 seconds. He's got to be careful though that he doesn't overrun this stint. As I said earlier on, lap 20, lap 21 will be the laps he'll probably pit in at. 9 laps on a set of softs is certainly manageable, and certainly you can get them to the end without there being any wear. They normally go off around here 4 or 5 laps into their stint, so that'll make sense because he'll come in, put on a fresh set of rubber, fresh set of softs of course in this case, and obviously he will be going around out on track hopefully to try and pick up a top 3 result. Toxic though in the meantime looking to try and pick this up. I'm not sure actually how the medium guys are going to be doing. I'm not sure if some of them are going to be getting home. Certainly I don't think Bray will get home because he's going to come into the pits again down there in 15th, but he has got free pit stop over Radjoy in about 8 seconds or so. But there's nothing really happening out on track, so I'm just going to try and waffle on as much as I can. Toxic trying to catch Commensus, and that gap is now down to 19.3 seconds through the hairpin. The gap just probably extending out there slightly by a 10th or 2. Yep. Commensus running up the hill. Toxic then running down towards Spoon now. So they're pretty much adjacent to each other out on track. Commentalist and Toxic. Of course, these two very harsh rivals when I commentated on them back in the day in FRL. In the Fantari Racing League, of course. And Commentalist then, I think, judging by his line, yes, he's going to come into the pits. So, he's into the pits on lap 21. Commentalist then into the lead, into the pits from the lead of the race, and he picks up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That didn't look like a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, trust me. Commentalist then on a fresh set of rubber, and Toxic then is just coming out the final corner now, so you can see where this one is going. Now they are coming down the flare is Toxic coming down the straight. Commentalist then is going to rejoin in 3rd. You should see in the background, there is V5 HRL just coming around the final corner, so he's going to be joining out in 2nd. Commentalist then going to be joining out in 3rd, because Gary Donegan is stuck behind. Sorry, that was McCurse stuck behind McCurse stuck behind Gary Donegan, I should say, out on track. Got there in the end. Commentalist right on the back then on V5 HRL, and now with the cold set of soft compound tyres that he's got, he's just going to manage these through the first lap on this stint and then really attack. But you'll see the gap begin to come down, and I wouldn't be surprised actually, within the next 3 laps, V5 HRL will be a sitting duck to Commentalist further down the field. He's only 13 seconds off the lead as Commentalist. So bearing that in mind, he's only 13 seconds off the lead. We've got a bit of a battle though going on further down the field. McCrew getting on the back of your JT who runs wide, and McCrew is down the inside, recovering well from his desync. And your JT is through and he's up into 8th position out on track. And Gary Donegan is round. That was through the Dunlop curve. I think he might have just caught into the gravel there. He got the car going again, but Kursk is through and he's up to 4th out on track. Key Games, of course, still causing that desync issue. Commentless then will watch him like a hawk. Currently, BWT Arden looking to pick up their first point of the season, as is the F1 Prix team as well. And the F1 Prix team still running around with Kursk in 4th. So all teams after tonight, all being well hopefully, are going to be picking up points in the constructors, or certainly they will have nil point in the constructors. They'll have no more nil point in the constructors, I should say. Commenters then 3.6 seconds off Viva Vetrol. He's got to treat this next lap as a qualifying lap, I think. Toxic then is into the pits, which is quite interesting. Toxic into the pits, 5-second time penalty as well for speeding into the pits, and the Carlin car is in. So that will now free up Commentalist for a possible win and a possible crack at getting Viva Vetrol, and Commentalist has judged this strategy to absolute perfection. And I've got to be honest and say, what a drive this is from the Division 2 driver. Maybe the best drive in League of Europe, for sure. B. Morgan is into the pits as well. So he's repairing that set of medium compounded tyres. That was, I think, with Kursk just running wide through turn 1 and 2. Gary Donegan trying to catch that back up. But in the meantime, we have got this battle beginning to hot up. Softs against mediums. You probably think, well, this one is probably going to go. Commentalist is catching through the deck as they go. He goes once again, and it's 2.6 seconds the gap. But it's Kooky Game. It's Viva Vetrol out in front from Commentalist in second. We'll look further down the field though, because a very interesting battle beginning to get going. This is between the Brit and the Scotsman, your JT and Callum. And Callum just misjudging his line there. He got caught on the curb, might have picked up an invalidated warning there, in fact. Your JT now under pressure, gets caught on the curb, got the greatest run out from him, and Callum on the back in the meantime. The BWT Arden on the back of that MP Motorsport. I keep on getting mixed up between the MPs and the Savage Junior team, even though they are differently colour-coded. Callum then on the back, the BWT Arden. Oh, surely he's not going to go down the inside. He has gone way too deep, and this surely is not going to be a move pulled off. Your JT, though, has got a very poor run out, and Callum says thank you very much for that one. Oh, and Gary Donegan's off. Gary Donegan, who was that? Sorry, it's Bray that is off. Is it? I don't know who that was. What on earth was that? It's Toxic. It's Toxic. I saw a car go off. I was trying to pick up on who it was. It's Toxic. That is off on track. It looked like, I think he might have been fighting with McCrew. So McCrew and Toxic, I think, might have just came into a bit of contact there. All of this beginning to let some of the guys that might not necessarily pick up a good result, get a good result out on track. Dan then looking to the inside of your JT, going to have a half commitment, not going to get the move done. So Abel has extended track limits, that I think was through Spoon. Oh, and your JT nearly into the wall, lagging back slightly, and now Dan has got the move done. He's got the DRS, he'll begin to pull away down the straight. So Dan then up into that 6th position, and that is Callum just ahead out on track as well. But the BWT Arden of Car Mentalist closing in on V5HRL as Toxic has retired out of the race. He has retired that at the final corner, and I think that is a VSC. Oh, it's a safety car! It's a safety car! Out on track. An unbelievable look here. V5HRL will have to come into the pits, I think, but Car Mentalist should lead under the safety car. Unbelievable stuff here. Lap 24 we're about to go on, and the first safety car of tonight. This has spiced things up wholeheartedly. This could be quite good. This. I'm imagining the top 13 will probably get on to the back. V5HRL then will lead the man. Of course, the drivers have got to stick to their delta time, but a safety car out on track. This Formula 2 race in Japan just gets better and better and better. We were seeing Commentalist, of course, catching up, and V5HRL is into the pits. Commentalist not into the pits. He will lead them under the safety car, and it is going to be him, possibly the one to beat now. Obviously, with him being under the safety car as well, it will cause the tyres to degrade at a much lesser level than what they would if he was going flat out on track. And Commentalist will lead then. I think that is Ibbo just in behind. No, that is not Ibbo, just in behind. That is Bray just in behind comments, just out on track. And that car is ghosted. Kooky Games then is into the pits apparently, but he's going around out on track. How does that work? Commentsless then is about to catch the safety car. In the meantime, the safety car waiting up on the after the Degners. And this is where the car will be picked up. There is the safety car ahead. The Commentsless will join on to the back of the safety car. So then, everyone into the pits. Bukurski into the pits, Gary Donegan into the pits, Dan is in, your JT is in, Callum is in, Campbell in, Verstappen in, Dylan in. Cruz just came out of the pits, so well done to him for that one. But it is Commentsless then who leads the way. But with a safety car out on track, it might take 2 or 3 laps then for the cars to get going back here from the safety car. Hopefully you guys, as I say, are enjoying the action happening out on track. I'll try and pick up on some reaction then from some of our DNFers out of the race. I'll have a look then and see what is going on. If you just give me 2 seconds to see that. Palmer apologising, saying he was sorry to the people who got caught up in the mess. I took way too much speed and I completely effed up, and I completely effed that whole race up. Well, you can always come back next week. And Kieran saying he got spun as well. So Kieran saying he got spun, Toxic then out of the race, causing the safety car. He did crash that. It looked like at the pit wall, possibly. That's what I would imagine he crashed it out as. So, Toxic was into the pit wall, and V5HRL still yet to get onto the back. Commentsless could have a free run of things here. As the AI cars are trying to get past, they've got to stay behind the leader, you know. We don't want to see an Ocon and Verstappen incident happening out on track, of course. And just to point out as well, we do have action coming for you guys on a Wednesday night here for League of Europe. Although it won't be streamed, I'll get out there anyways. It is of course going to be GT Sport once again, and we're going to be around, I think, Brands Hatch this week. And I finished second in the race last time out, last week of course, and that was at Fuji after I led for about 40 minutes and fucked up my strategy. But hopefully we might get a full-time commentator, hopefully, for the GT Sport. So if you are interested in commentating for GT Sport, and if you're just happening to tune in at this point, please do come and stream for us for GT Sport, because it's going to be absolutely fantastic action out on track. Always is a great racing, and the format is absolutely brilliant as well, with the reverse grid, similar to what we're seeing in F2 tonight. So then, everyone is coming onto the back of the safety car eventually. We'll see if the safety car will come in this lap then. I highly doubt it will be, because half the field is still not on the back of the safety car queue. And those that are Bray, Rajayon, and V5HRL, and Kursk, and Gary Donegan, and that is it. That is it. That is the safety car queue. And I don't think we're going to see the safety car come in this lap. I think it would have been, I think it would have came up by now. It should be around this point where it does come in. The safety car is speeding up out on track, and the safety car not going to be coming in. So we've got another lap under the safety car, which means I will be back in a minute, because I'm just going to text back somebody that has asked me a question. So then more and more cars beginning to get back onto the back of the safety car queue, and all the action out on track tonight is going to really begin to happen. So Commentsless leads then with the safety car. It's V5HRL in second, it's Kursk in third, it's Gary Donegan in fourth, it's B Morgan in fifth, McCrew in sixth, Callum in seventh, Dan in eighth, with your JT in ninth, Campbell in 10th, Kooky in 11th, Dylan in 12th, Verstappen 13th, Bray in 14th, Rajan in 15th. Those two, 14th and 15th, are on the back of the safety car queue as well. And now they are in behind the leader, in fact, and Viva Virtual, sadly, has got to stay behind the ghosted car. Commenceless then leads us still under the safety car. Toxic saying, sorry for the dive bomb, I didn't expect you to brake there. So obviously a bit of contact earlier on in the race between Toxic and Viva Virtual. Of course, any stewards investigations, do get them in through the usual channels. There is a stewards report form, I think, within the Discord. So if you do want any incident reporting, if you do want any penalties removing, that's the best way to do it. Commenceless then, right on the back of the safety car. We should get underway then for 4 more laps of action. We should have the safety car coming in this lap, as a majority of the field are on the back of the safety car queue. It's only Verstappen and Dylan. As Bray wants to get on with things, we should see the safety car then come in this lap, and we'll see the backing up of the pack hopefully very shortly. And there we go, the safety car lights are now out, so Commenceless will hopefully lead under the safety car. It's Bray and Rajayan who are trying to get on with things. Cookie Games dropping down. Commenceless then backs up the pack, and of course the safety car does have to come in. It's a very fast safety car line, if I've got to be honest. Commenceless has got to be ensuring that the safety car does come into the pits. We're going to go green once again, and he's timed it to absolute perfection. So across the line we go, and Commenceless leads then by 1.6 seconds, as long as the ghosted car's getting out of the way. So now Viva Virtual has got dead aim on Commenceless ahead. That is Brit just ahead of him as well. 10-second time penalty for Sable, picking up the time penalty at the top of the hill there, just coming down towards the straight. But back underway here in Formula 2. Dylan has dropped down past Verstappen, so that move has been completed by Verstappen. He's up into 11th, but now Commenceless has got a break on Viva Virtual. It's 1.5 seconds with around 3.5 laps to go. We'll go further down the field though in the meantime, because Campbell is on the back of your JT. The two Scotsmen still finding it out for 9th and 10th position. The MP against the Campos, and the Campos now looking to the inside of Degner 1. This will be bold if he can pull it off. Campbell's down the inside, has to give him the room there, your JT. It's very difficult to go side by side. Campbell was just about, I think, the car ahead and all of that. Your JT somehow has held on to the position, and Campbell now down the inside wants to get on with things and has got the move done. Campbell not hanging around there, and he's up into 9th position. Good move that by the Scotsman on his fellow countryman. Job done. And Dan down the inside gets the move done on Callum. So Dan through up to 7th. Oh, the BWT Arden getting right on the back there of the Dams. McCrew right on the back of the other Dams car in the Prima. McCrew against Morgan. It's 1.2 seconds for Commenceless out in front. We could have a Division 2 winner here in Formula 2, which will be the first time this season, because all of it's been dominated by Division 1 drivers. B. Morgan. McCrew then looking to the outside of B. Morgan, trying to go around the outside in the Prima. Not going to be quite close enough. Morgan outbreaks himself into the corner. Eventually got my words out. McCrew right on the back though. As we come across the line, Viva Virtual, new fastest lap of the race, and it's side by side in the background between Dan and Callum. These two find it out. Of course, no DRS on this lap. It'll be coming on with 2 laps to go. Dan, oh, Callum ran the outside. Has he got the car stopped? He has. What a move. Callum ran the outside. Move of the race, that for me. Round the outside he goes through turn 2. A difficult move to pull off in these Formula 2 cars, but Callum has just made it look pretty easy round the outside. What a move that is by the BWT Arden, and they're going to be picking up a double point scoring finish as well as a result of that. So Callum up to 7th, Dan down to 8th, and literally had nowhere and nothing to do with that. Dan down to 10th, down to 8th, probably thinking, well, why did I let that one go through? But Commenceless has got to last these tyres out, because Viva Virtual and a fresh set of soft compounder tyres, Commenceless, I fear, has totally overdone his strategy here, because he's on a set of soft compounder tyres. Callum and Dan again found out down into the hairpin, and Verstappen has got the move done on your JT, and that is Dylan trying to get the move done down the inside. He was half alongside, and Dylan on the inside of your JT. The Dutchman and the Scotsman again banging wheels, and this is not fair racing between them both. They've got to respect each other out on track and not behave like total morons. Your JT and Dylan front around the outside. Of course, they've got to make sure that they give room to each other. They've got to make sure that there's no contact between them, and a bit of banging wheels. Hopefully no contact made, and that is a AI car on the inside. That was it. Bray trying to go for that, I think. Dylan then on the inside line. Your JT wise, and we'll pick up the DRS, but Dylan's gone way too deep. He positions the car in nicely, and he's got the move done. So Dylan finally pulling that off, or has he? Because your JT ran the outside of him with the traction. No DRS, remember, down the straight. MP against Carlin, and the Carlin right on the back here. Your JT, Dylan. Oh, Dylan nearly getting the move done, but your JT holds firm. The Scotsman holding firm, and speaking of holding firm, Car Mentalist does not want to light this up lightly. The soft compounder tyres are going for him. Car Mentalist then leads, but V5 HRL is stomping like an elephant in behind, and he's right on the back of the Brit. Car Mentalist then under pressure. He's got to make these tyres last out. It's a lap and a half to go until the line, and Car Mentalist and V5 HRL will have the fresher tyres right at the end of the race. 9 laps on the start stops can be done, but they've got to be really hard. Gary Donegan has gone through on McCurst. The side-by-side coming out of the hairpin. A little bit of lag. McCurst now on the inside line. V5 HRL in the meantime trying to get past McCurst. Not going to get the move done on Car Mentalist, that is. And McCurst round the outside of Gary Donegan. Oh, Gary caught up on the inside curb. He spins round at Spoon. He goes onto the grass. Luckily, he won't rejoin on. But V5 HRL and Car Mentalist, it could be side-by-side running up towards 130R. What a race this is in Japan. Car Mentalist, V5 HRL trying to go around the outside, doesn't have to pull it off. Car Mentalist has got to make that BWT Arden look as wide as possible at this stage. He locks up into the final 2 corners through 16 and 17, and now through turn 18 and 4, the penultimate time. Car Mentalist gets a much better run out. V5 HRL sitting like a sitting duck there up the straight, and Car Mentalist may have just won it there. I'm not sure. A final lap though, and it's Car Mentalist who leads. V5 HRL in second, McCursk in third. It's side by side between McCrew and Morgan. Round the outside goes McCrew. Little bit of contact, and Morgan does very well to recover that car. Can he rejoin on in front of Callum? It'll be brilliant if he does, and he does. Morgan rejoins in front of Callum, who's trying to desperately fight around the outside. There's contact between them both. Luckily, he hasn't rejoined on. Campbell and Verstappen are lapping this up, and he's making up. They're both making up progress through the field, the 2 Campos cars. Gary Donegan has retired out the race, and that is through the Dunlop curve. I think he's been caught up there with a Dylan incident. Car Mentalist and V5 HRL then in the meantime with half a lap to go. Hairpin, then Spoon, then 130R, and then it's pretty much the end of the race. Car Mentalist then into the hairpin. V5 HRL right on the back. He's still hunting him down like a lion on an eagle. V5 HRL and Car Mentalist. B Morgan is through, and McCrew has spun out the hairpin. It's all getting a little bit too tetchy in behind. Car Mentalist and V5 HRL. V5 HRL runs wide. This is where V5 HRL will try and floor it out. He gets caught onto the curb slightly. Car Mentalist is giving his all out in front. V5 HRL in second. They run up down the hill towards 130R for the final time. Car Mentalist and V5 HRL. Surely another late move here from V5 HRL. Car Mentalist has got to position that car in the middle of the track. He does. And Car Mentalist, I think, is going to come out on top of this one. The BWT Arden driver, not sure about his strategy, but he's got it right in the end. And Car Mentalist wins here in Formula 2, but on the penalties, it is V5 HRL that takes the win. Kursk has finished in third. B Morgan will come across the line to finish in fourth. Campbell has retired late on, and that is into the pit wall. Campbell into the pit wall late on. A lot of retirements. Dylan, I think, got caught up in a contact with Gary Donegan as well. Rajayan about to come across the line. So Ibo was fighting this right to the end of the race as well. Dylan then up to 11th, passing Campbell, and Rajayan and Ibo. Of course, we'll try and pick up on that in just a second, as that is Rajayan picking up a 5-second time penalty for an unsafe stop goal. Sable now across the line, doesn't pick up that 16th position. What a dramatic end to that race. The driving standards falling below maybe standards of what we were expecting here in Formula 2. But V5HRL on penalties takes it. Car Mentalist did everything right there. And it's all British 1, 2, 3 as well here in Formula 2. And we'll catch up with all the action after the race, of course, and hopefully there are no tempers going to be fraying within the comments section. Oh, Campbell saying he's absolutely crying. Sorry for the hit of the hairpin to Dan, and he can't believe it. Some guys need to watch that racecraft. Yeah, I totally agree on that, Verstappen, within the comments section there. But as I get a reward for commentating on the feature race, the first time in ages as I get that, so Codemasters are clearly appreciating my work. V5HRL takes it. 8 seconds worth of penalties for Commentalist in the end was his wrongdoing, but look at the standings late on. V5HRL wins, Commentalist in second, B Morgan in third. A good drive from him in the dams. Verstappen from the back in fourth. I think he takes the championship lead now into next week. Dan in fifth, McCrew in sixth, Kursk in seventh, Kuki Games in eighth, Callum in ninth, Your J in 10th, Dylan Campbell, Gary Donegan, Bray and Rajoyan and Sable all finishing as well. Toxic, Damon, Kieran and Palmer out of the race respectfully in the Formula 2 action here tonight. Goodness me, what an end to that race. Some people love to over-defend like their lives depend on it. Yeah, of course, drivers have got to err on the side of caution, and I repeated this earlier on. Clearly that warning has not gone unheeded at all. That drivers do need to take it carefully and drive cautiously in these F2 cars. It's not like driving an F1 car. You're not going to be going down the inside every single lap and try and get the move done. These F2 cars literally are like wrestlers. You've got to have to wrestle the car through the corner. And I think in terms of next week, hopefully we do get an improvement in the standings. And I know certainly there might be a few stewarding investigations coming out of this one. But as of course, Formula 2 will roll on a Monday night towards next week. And next week, we do go to the hills of Austria. We are just south of the Austrian Alps, of course, at Spielberg, at the Red Bull Ring. So if you want to tune in for more action, do like, comment and subscribe to League of Europe's Formula 1 channel here. And of course, if you do want to tune in for Saturday's action, that'll be even better because Division 1 and Division 3 is on at half past 20 to 7, and Division 2 and Division 4 on at 8 o'clock. So, if you want to tune in for them, do so. If you do want to tune in next week as well, do so as well, because we're going to be going to Austria next week. Hopefully the standards will be better. Thank you very much for watching. I've been James Head, and thank you for watching, and until next week in Austria, goodbye.